dictator power, and they basically cite this now whenever he launches Libya wars and all of this. And we had Congressman DeFazio, going to Bush at the time and saying, I want the full text of PDD 51. The cover sheet says you can take over for any reason. Well, I want to see the full plan. And they would never give even the Homeland Security Committee director of the House that information. So right there is the presidency really flexing its dictatorial muscles. And now we see Politico today. In fact, let me just read that headline to listeners. Politico has come out with a top Democrat in the House. Obama urged to invoke 14th Amendment as debt ceiling deadline, and that was a 14th Amendment interpretation by Ulysses S. Grant during Reconstruction against the states. They're threatening this against the Congress, and we saw foreshadowing of this where they were talking about...
Alex, you and I talked about this at great length back when Bush issued these directives. And, of course, they don't need to invoke the 14th Amendment because of the directives that you point out and that we pointed out at the time that Bush is already on the books. So there's no doubt that if the Republicans push their intransigence right into the deadline, that Obama has to decide, if he's not going to cave in to them, he has to decide, does he let the default take place? Does he let the dollar go? Does he let the credit rating of the United States government go? Does he let the power of the country evaporate? Or does he evoke the Bush presidential and national security directives and set aside Congress? I suspect that the pressure from within the administration, from within the military security complex, would force him, even if he didn't want to invoke the Bush presidential directive and set aside Congress. So I think it's for certain that that will happen if the Republicans continue at demanding no tax increase, cuts in entitlements, and the Democrats say, well, we just can't do that. We can't betray our constituencies to that extent. We control the Senate and the White House. Why do you think we're going to submit to the House Republicans' demands? So if it comes to that, yes, we will see more powers leave the Congress, and I think they will be permanent. They're not going to go back. And so it's a serious situation. And the question we have to wonder about is, are the Republicans unaware of this? Are they in on it? Do they want it to happen?
Well, sir, let me stop you. Mitch McConnell came out a week ago. We did news reports on this, and they spun it like, oh, great, Obama will get the blame. And he said, well, we'll just have Congress, like they did with the World Trade Organization on trade, we'll have Congress sign its authority over to the president on debt increases. So now they're talking about a super Congress where the rest of the House and Senate don't vote, but the leaders get together. And there's another video out today breaking it down. Congressional members' net worth has gone up 3,669% just in the last few years. The big mega banks are all filing record profits. Yeah, they're crazy like a fox. I mean, this has clearly been engineered, and it's all a bunch of theater. Bush helps, Clinton gets rid of Glass-Steagall. Bush continues it. Obama continues it. Same special interests are financing both sides. I think the answer's there. They know exactly what they're doing.
Well, I'm not as sure as you are about that. I think the outcome may be the same. But you have to, if I was Wall Street interest or military security complex interest or oil companies, I would be, at this point, very uncertain about further increases in the power of the president.
Yes.
Because right now, the oligarchies control the government. But as power accumulates in the presidency, that control deserts the oligarchies. The executive branch has it and brings them under their thumb. This is kind of the way Rome transitioned. For a while, the Caesars, the rise of the Caesars, it was a gradual process, the accumulation of power. worked to the advantage of more powerful interests. But then they all found that they were all under the thumb. And so I don't know that accumulating more power in the presidency is to the advantage of the oligarchy. I think he then rises not merely as a countervailing power, but eventually as the overwhelming power.
But they have vetted people that they have dirt on who they believe they can control. And you've got the Israeli special interest and others there. And so this could be a multinational, even foreign coup through the presidency with Rahm Emanuel and the rest of them. And I really do see that. We're in grave danger. Dr. Paul Craig Roberts is our guest. I want to talk about the true state of the economy when we come back. Is there already really a technical default?
Question: can functional magnetic resonance imaging be used to read our minds? Author Jose Collazo answers yes in his 2 new books, America's New Slavery. For more than 13 years, author Jose Collazo has been trying to prove that the U.S. government has the capacity to read a person's thoughts with a revolutionary technology known as fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, and there is proof that it exists. America's New Slavery explores this technology and its many possible applications in national security. Who has access to it? How is it being used? Does America's salvation rest in this technology? These and many other questions are answered in America's New Slavery, the new books by Jose Collazo, available on BN.com, Amazon.com, and Borders.com. America's New Slavery. All Americans should be concerned.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Optics Planet is calling all hunters, shooters, and outdoorsmen. It's time to gear up. As the best online retailer of rifle scopes, red dot sights, lasers, and other firearm accessories, Optics Planet has a special deal to offer GCN listeners. You may already know OpticsPlanet.com has the best selection of weapon lights, holsters, night vision, binoculars, and tactical gear on the planet. With incredibly low prices, free shipping on most orders, and USA-based phone support, Optics Planet is the online retailer of choice for discerning gun owners and outdoor enthusiasts. Featuring Leupold, Blackhawk, EOTech, Crimson Trace, Night Force, Trijicon, Surefire, over 700 top brands. For a limited time, head to opticsplanet.com/GCN to get a free Streamlight Keymate, the world's most powerful keychain light with purchase. That's opticsplanet.com/GCN or call 800-332-OPTICS right now to speak with an Optics Planet product specialist. 800-332-6784.
Ladies and gentlemen, I see total, flawless integration between the special interests that run the Republicans and the Democrats. But as Dr. Roberts, former head of policy at the Treasury, former Wall Street Journal editor, has broken down, and he's been listed by Forbes and other publications as one of the top 10 economists out there, it doesn't matter. The outcome is the same thing. And all of this, they started training the military to take over the U.S. right when they got rid of Glass-Steagall. We got IMF World Bank plans back in 2002 where they talked about imploding the Western world, and it's here. But Dr. Roberts, my issue is, do you agree with Dr. Ron Paul, Congressman Ron Paul, but also the Chinese government in the last 6 months? They've said, look, you're already starting to default by monetizing your treasuries. You're already moving towards hyperinflation. And we're not going to buy your treasury bonds anymore. We're going to cut back on what we're buying. And so, I mean, that's why many people have said, go ahead and let them up the debt. because it will just kind of back this off. We will implode if you don't up it, but then we'll implode if we don't, because you've pointed out we've been deindustrialized by globalism, which is the opposite of what they call free or fair trade. I mean, I've got articles here where General Electric's using government bailout money to move their X-ray factories to China.
Right. Yeah. Well, we can talk about the economy because it's the real problem and not the debt ceiling crisis. And I think you're right to move us to that topic. First, I'm going to very briefly make the point that if the United States government does default, and it has any of the terrible consequences that have been predicted, who are the gainers? Iran, Russia, and China. Those are the ones who will come out ahead. And so it's really not in any American interests of the power groups to default. So I think for that reason it will be avoided. Now, as for the economy, as we have discussed many times, Alex, the crisis of the American economy is that the middle-class jobs have been moved offshore and given to the Chinese, the Indians, the Indonesians, and others. And the American middle class is left without these jobs and without the income growth that supported the growth in consumer demand, the housing market, and the economy, and which was tax-based. So one of the reasons we have such huge deficits is that we have today roughly, 10 million fewer people employed than a decade ago, despite the growth in the population of 10%. So when you give away your GDP, your tax base, the jobs for the middle class, both manufacturing jobs and professional service jobs, like many fields of engineering, research, design, you are destroying your own economy. And that's what has been going on with offshoring for about 20 years. And there is no discussion of this yet today. I've been going on about it for years and years. And I have been joined by Ralph Gomory, the distinguished mathematician and economist. And recently, as we, I think, discussed on your program, we had a Nobel laureate economist come out and reproduce my arguments.
And now the Chamber of Commerce says move everything we've got left to South Korea.
Right. And that's right. So even though a few knowledgeable and distinguished people have picked up my argument, it's still ignored by the policymakers and by the vested interest, because they all know they can increase their short-term profits, they can increase their quarterly bonuses by continuing to move American jobs offshore, because it lowers the labor cost, increases the profits, and therefore they qualify for their bonus payments.
Dr. Roberts, I know you've got to go, but 1 minute break. I want to come back and have you finish that point. Then we're going to shift gears into other subjects. Stay with us.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hi, this is Steve Shank and Babs Rosberg with eFoods Direct. Babs, you work a lot with shipping, and things are going absolutely nuts with this new Independence Month Patriot Pack that eFoods is giving away.
The way things are going, we're shipping thousands of these great little Patriot Packs out. Just an example, Sherry from Arkansas made a $1,300 order. We shipped her 5 free Patriot Packs, $750 more free food.
Folks are really surprised at what we're actually giving away. Now, folks, we've had 235 years of freedom in this country, so for every $235 worth of food ordered, we give away a $149 Patriot Pack free.
To order the best food on the planet, call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
A free 12-day supply Patriot Pack with every $235 worth of food ordered. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups,